Hello, this is Giselle Gamby, business and life coach and proud host of the Intuitive Pull podcast. We're now pivoting to season 4 with an invitation to raise the stakes. I know I was made to remind people to raise the stakes, to seize, to claim, and execute the vision that you've intuitively seen, and to never accept the crumbs. What would it mean if you raised the stakes in your own life? What would you say yes to? And what would you say an undeniable no to? Be inspired, be agitated, be activated, and most of all, hold this truth, that when you raise the stakes, the quantum field will show you dreams you didn't even know you had. Welcome to day 3 of my best Year Yet Masterclass. I'm really keen to hear what has been happening for you. So please feel free to email me and connect with me and give me your feedback. Let me know what you've been receiving. Let me know what you've been shifting, because connection is one of my most favorite things. And it's actually the reason why the masterclass that I delivered was one where I wanted people to share. And then that sharing was so precious and so private that I couldn't share it here with you. And is the reason why I re-recorded this masterclass just for you. So please email me all the things that have been occurring for you, because I'm looking forward to hearing. All right, so day 3 of the masterclass is speaking to the theme of raising the stakes. Raising the stakes and coming into greater integrity with what you are being called to give yourself and give others. Raising the stakes to come into greater integrity with what you are willing to give to yourself and others. Now, this can apply across lots of different subject matters: your health and your wellness, your purpose, relationships, money, lifestyle, travel, self-expression, a conversation. Raising the stakes and coming into greater integrity with what you are being called to give to yourself and give to others. Now, one of my most favorite things about coaching is that by witnessing what happens with my clients, I get to see things about what is possible that I didn't know until I witnessed it through their experience. I have this giant passion to continuing to see what is possible, to continuing to experience results that we've not yet had the privilege of experiencing. I have this such a passion, such a desire, such a yearning for that, to experience results that we've not yet had the privilege of experiencing. And I'll tell you why. Because when we experience results that we've not yet had the privilege of experiencing until we do, it becomes a demonstration for others that that is possible for them as well. Which is why raising the stakes is such an important part of my life. It's such an important part of my work. And it's such an important part of this masterclass dedicated to the theme of this next year being one of the best that you've experienced so far. This next year being one of the most life-changing, significant years that you've had so far. I was reflecting when I delivered the masterclass this morning live. I was reflecting on the fact that, and I want you to think about it when you consider your life, isn't it true to say that every significant life-changing breakthrough that we've had has always been because we've raised the stakes and we've come into greater integrity with a part of our lives? Now, I had not used the words raising the stakes and coming into greater integrity until this year. But when I look back at my life and all the times that I really had life-changing breakthroughs, it is always because I had the personal agency to raise the stakes, because I had the personal agency to come into greater integrity, because I had the calling to bring what was out of alignment, what was inauthentic, what was out of congruence with who I am, and to have the freedom for it to come into alignment. It has always been because we have raised the stakes. So just take a moment for yourself. Just think of those moments in your life where you have really had a life-changing moment. And just observe. You raised the stakes in those times. You came into greater integrity. Just take a moment to have a look. It was always because of that. Now, some questions that I want to offer you that will help navigate you to see where you're being invited to raise the stakes and to come into greater integrity. The questions are this: what do you have energy for? And what do you no longer have energy for? What do you have energy for? And what do you no longer have energy for? Now, you might need to pause this recording so that you can be with that question. And then I'll give you another question. What has energy for you? And what no longer has energy for you? Really be with those questions. And it's going to point you, it's going to navigate you. If you don't know already the places that are out of integrity or not in the highest integrity that you're being called to raise the stakes on. I have this expression that came to me. I had a client session, and then I went to a sound healing group session that evening, and then the expression came to me. But actually, before I give you the expression, I'm going to actually share the story with the client. And it's a perfect demonstration of how we raise the stakes. So some of the clients that I work with are referred to me by an integrative oncologist called Dr. Carol Haddad, an amazing integrative oncologist. And she refers some of her clients to me who she believes that I could support and who are open to this kind of work. And that day before I went to that sound healing session, I had a client session with a lady, I'm just going to call her Elle, who had been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And 2 months before this session. And when we began, she told me that she'd asked her other oncologist, had she ever had anyone go into radical remission? And the oncologist said, only one. And then Elle said, I'll be your next. Well, when I had my session with her that day, 2 months after declaring that to the oncologist, she received her PET scan results, and having had stage 4 breast cancer, which she was told was largely incurable, there was not one sign of cancer left. She'd gone into total resolution. One of the reasons why she went into total resolution was because she had the resolve to say, I will be your next person who goes into radical remission. And she leaned into such faith. And she leaned into such a sense of innocence that stepped out of the paradigm of statistics and historical evidence and what the oncologists believe. And she also absolutely was intuitively led as to who would be her support people. And she engaged many different healing modalities. And that was a few months ago now, and she continues to be cancer-free. And all of her test results continue to show that. So as you can imagine, I was beyond happy. And I went to this sound healing session and I had my eyes closed. And the experience that I had was I felt like running around the room. I didn't run around the room, but I felt like running around the room going, raise the stakes, and bend reality. That's the expression I wanted to give you. Raise the stakes, and bend reality. Because when we are raising the stakes, when we are moved by a calling to experience results that we've not yet had the privilege of experiencing, so that we can demonstrate that that is possible for others too, we are bending reality. We are bending reality. So let's just go backwards over the last 2 days so I can put all this together. So on day 1, we talked about the premise that the desire for more is created from the appreciation of what already is here, from an appreciation of wholeness. And we talked about how if you're in this masterclass, I don't imagine that you're a newbie at the beginning of your journey. I imagine that, you have years of experience, or if you've not got those years, that life has and circumstances have catalyzed a depth of wisdom. And if you, are on the 50 plus side, even the 40 plus side, you have a depth of wisdom. You have a depth of wisdom. And on day 1, we talked about how there is so much untapped abundance within that. So much that you've not tapped into yet is wisdom that you've seen, but there's also wisdom that you've not yet seen. And then on day 2, we talked about resistance. We talked about the self-permission to stand tall. We talked about one of our human defaults, which is to feel vulnerable when we're in our leadership, when we're in our power, and when we question whether we have the right, whether it's because people have poo-pooed us, like I got slammed, as I told you, or whether it's because of your own belief systems. And we heard the message from God, the universe, come out, come out. It's time to claim your place. It's time to stand tall. And here we are on day 3, and I'm inviting you to raise the stakes. And I'm inviting you to come into greater integrity with what you are being called to give yourself and others from a place of congruence, authenticity, and alignment. Now, before I share the meditation with you, today's meditation with you, I want to share the background. So on the 2nd of June, I found myself in a beautiful home and a beautiful property in the Currumbin Valley in Queensland. And I'd been invited by some former clients who had rented that home and had invited myself and some of the other people that I'd been coaching at the time that they were coaching, and it was just absolutely magnificent. And we did a breathwork session. And in the breathwork, actually, I have to say it was the most powerful breathwork session I've ever experienced. And in that breathwork session, I went and traveled into the quantum field. And the quantum field told me, cast your desires onto me, and I will show you dreams you never knew you had. Cast your desires onto me, and I will show you dreams you never knew you had. And so enjoy this meditation. It's about 15 minutes long. It was created directly after my experience meeting the quantum field in breathwork. And I actually recorded this meditation for the Sacred Leaders group. Enjoy, and at the end of that meditation, I will come back with another leading question for you to go into your final note to self as part of my Best Year Yet Masterclass. Now begin by taking a big, deep breath in. And when you exhale, exhale with a sigh of relief. Let go. Another 3 big, deep breaths. And then when you exhale again, exhale with a sigh of relief and let go. 3 deep breaths in your own time. Now become present with your heart space. And feel the love in your heart. And allow that heart space to open as wide as it can go. Imagine fueling up your heart space with an infinite amount of love for yourself and for all around you and beyond. And now we're going to go on a little journey. Are you ready? Let go. But first, a little story to begin your journey, your travels in this meditation today. In a breathwork session on the 2nd of June 2024 in the Currumbin hinterland, I travelled into the quantum field. and I met its openness and hunger to experience itself. Cast your projection of what you desire onto me, the quantum field said. I will reflect back at you the thoughts and feelings that you project onto me, and I will show you dreams that you didn't even know you had. And so I cast my desire of wellness and wealth in all ways for all of us, for all of our families, for all of our communities and beyond. This month, our focus is on raising the stakes. Raising the stakes on who we allow ourselves to be in our sacred leadership. Raising the stakes on our contribution. Raising the stakes with our creative expression. Raising the stakes on the magic we allow in. Raising the stakes on what we give. Raising the stakes on the version of reality that is duly ours because we are a spark of the divine. Cast your projection of what you desire onto me, the quantum field said. I will reflect back at you the thoughts and feelings that you project onto me. And I will show you dreams you didn't even know you had. Because this is what you were made for. This is what you were made for. Now raise the stakes. Do your part and raise the stakes. Raise the stakes and cast your projection of what you desire onto me, the quantum field said. I will reflect back at you the thoughts and feelings that you project onto me, and I will show you dreams you didn't even know you had. Now raise the stakes. cast them into the quantum field and let go and surrender. And allow the quantum field to show you dreams you didn't even know you had. Now we come back into this physical form of ours. After traveling on that journey into the quantum field. After doing our part and deciding upon what we are raising the stakes around. Go back to your heart space. Maybe even put your hand on your heart. And feel that love for yourself again. That enormous well of love. Endless, well of love for yourself and for all around you. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe taking another big, deep breath with a sigh of relief as you exhale. Stretching and yawning. Maybe wiping away some tears. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. So I hope that you really enjoyed that meditation. There's such a stillness in that meditation. What a contrast to the one that I created, come out, that you did on day 2 of the masterclass. So the leading question that, or statement I should say, that I want to share with you at the end of this 3-day experience is this. This is what I was made for, and I didn't know until now. This is what I'd like you to go away and write a note to self about. This is what I was made for, and I didn't know until now. But before you do, because this will be the final piece of this 3-day masterclass, I would like to say thank you for being here. I really sincerely hope it was a powerful and profound experience. Please share the masterclass with your friends and families and colleagues. I will put a link in the email from today's masterclass that you will be able to forward to your family, friends, and colleagues so that they can sign up to the masterclass. And if you feel the pull to engage with me beyond this masterclass, let me share a couple of ways that we can do that. So first of all, I have a very intimate coaching model that I have worked with since 2013. Sometimes this intimate coaching model becomes part of a mastermind that includes group work, and other times it is simply one-on-one work. I work with people, you probably have guessed by now through some of the stories that I've shared with you, but I work with people who I have a sacred contract with. I don't work with everybody. I work with people who have this feeling that our souls are meant to do this together. And then in the long run, we end up coaching together for many, many years, on and off, on and off. And the beautiful thing about that is that we have this precious community of people who have come to know each other over the years, who have become friends, who have collaborated together, who have worked together. And I call it, my intention actually of community is that it's a divine ecosystem. And sometimes we go away on retreats overseas, China, Phuket, Vietnam, Croatia, Kenya, 5 times in Kenya on safari. I think I've covered everything. I might have, Bali, might have forgotten. So, most important thing is if you feel like engaging with me one-on-one, that's the most important thing for me to say. I've just got carried away about the community. You can work with me either for a year, and if a year is just out of your, you just cannot fathom that up front, we then engage for 3 months, and it's deep, deep, intimate work, and it is absolutely life-changing. So that is how I've been working with people since 2013. Now, I have a capacity limit working with people one-on-one. I can't and I don't want to work with dozens and dozens of people. And I've had an intention now for a few years of how can I work with more people from a place of authenticity that feels really good for me. Now, it was around the time of raising the stakes, around June 2024 this year, that I had some worlds collide. And the worlds that collided were this. First of all, the intention that I had around receiving a model, a structure that felt really good for me, colliding with a real appreciation for my practice of writing notes to self, for the wealth, the richness, the wisdom that comes out of those notes to self. I write blogs, record podcast episodes. It comes into my coaching. I teach and I mentor and coach from what I receive in my notes to self. I transform from my notes to self. And many of my clients also write their own notes to self. It's such an active presence. And I thought to myself, what if I put on a year-long, like a writing retreat program, where we come together in group, where every month I share something like I've been sharing with you here. And that sharing then activates writing over that month. And then over that month, we then have a couple of times where we come together on a group call and people share their notes to self. Now, they're not going to share all their notes to self because some of them are private, just like some of mine are private and I won't share. But then there will be notes to self that will want to be shared, and the richness of being able to be witnessed and to be given, to illuminate what the writer has not been able to see for themselves, and to allow that writing to unfurl and unveil all the pieces required to having their best year yet. All the pieces required to show them dreams they never knew they had. And so I am commencing my best year yet program on the 1st of November. It will be an evergreen program, which means that it will continue rolling on and people can join whenever they feel to. And if you would like to participate in that, it comes at a very doable fee. Equally, if you feel and you know when one-on-one work is what is required and you'd like to explore that, I will put a link to an application form in this email, and we can then meet and take it from there. And if this masterclass was all that was required, and we're now connected because of this, my heart is very happy. So now I'm going to invite you to complete these 3 days with your final note to self as part of this masterclass, with the leading statement, "This is what I was made for, and I didn't know until now." Thank you. It's been wonderful to create this for you. Thank you.